I believe the meeting is now streaming, Terry.
Oh, okay. I think we can start. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but it kind of sounds like a lawnmower or something going on. I don't know where it's coming from, but it's just me here. But we're just going to go on. This is fine as long as you
Okay.
guys can hear me. Well, we're
You're
good
all
to
ready
go.
to go.
Yep. Thank you, John.
Okay, no problem. Just say my name.
Okay. Um, this is the Northborough Cultural Council, and it is Thursday, December 3rd, and I'm calling the meeting to order. It is 7:09, and I need to read this message first at the beginning of the meeting. Remote meetings. This open meeting of Northborough Cultural Council is being conducted remotely, consistent with Governor Baker's executive order of March 12, 2020, due to the current state of emergency in the Commonwealth of Mass due to the outbreak of COVID-19 virus. In order to mitigate the transmission of the COVID virus, the town of Northborough has been advised and directed by the Commonwealth to suspend public gatherings, and as such, the governor's order suspends a requirement of the open meeting law to have all meetings in a publicly accessible physical location. All members of the Northborough Cultural Council are allowed and encouraged to participate remotely. The order allows Northborough Cultural Council to meet entirely remotely so long as reasonable public access can be afforded so the public can follow along with the deliberations of the meeting. The public is encouraged to follow along using the posted agenda unless the chair sees notes otherwise. Ensuring public access does not ensure public participation unless such participation is required by law. This meeting will not be featuring public comments. Okay, so now we can zip right into agenda item number 1, and that is approval of the minutes. I confess I did not look at that, but I'm going to look at it right now. Does anybody
It
have
looked okay to
anything?
me.
Although I don't think we can vote anyway.
Oh,
So it's just if anyone has any edits they'd like to bring up.
I looked at it quickly. It looked fine. Anybody else?
Yeah, I think no comments, and we'll just have to redo this bullet point next meeting.
okay. I don't see anything. I don't see anything that jumps out on me, so I think we're good. Okay, so I'm just going to make a note that for future agenda, we can just add it on. Treasurer's report. Do you have anything for us, Craig?
Sure. In the last 2-3 weeks since we last talked, we have had one additional grant reimbursement paperwork package came in via email from Symphony Pro Musica. So we had granted them $150, and they've been constrained in their agenda through the whole spring and summer, but they did have one event that they've submitted for. So we'll process that. So just on a high-level summary on the 2019-2020 grants against a grant plan of $6,500 or so, we still have about $5,600 not paid out. So clearly, a very large majority of the grants, the recipients have been unable to put on their production or have yet to submit for a grant.
Right. Okay.
So I think the last time we talked, we had the concept of dividing up the list of grantees, and just perhaps, touching base with them and saying something friendly like, hey, here's a reminder, how you doing? So everybody, maybe we want to undertake that. Just reach out to the grant recipients that haven't submitted anything yet and see how they're doing.
I really like that idea.
So I'm happy to send out the updated list of the total grantee list with the notes on who has submitted and been paid. And if you recall, when we go through all of the planning process, we kind of divide up amongst ourselves the different grants. So you can kind of look by name on the old list. And if, you know, somebody that was under your name whose grant you had reviewed and proposed is there, maybe you can reach out to them. All right, so that's the grants. Then I'm moving on, Terry, I think you have me down for a virtual Culture Fest. Yeah, let's
I have a
Update.
quick question.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you're saying everybody that will get in touch with the people?
Yeah, get in touch with the people that you were initially responsible for. So each of us had like 4 or 5.
Okay, is there like a letter already drawn up that I can just fix, or didn't we have something saying what's going on, or no?
No.
we did for virtual Culture Fest.
So
Well, we did
All
for
send out the
initially.
same letter. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
we should. But I thought we did initially when we first came out with like a, you know, here are changes and you're extended but I think that's kind of more complicated. This is just a reminder and like an ask of like how you doing. Do you need anything from us? And your deadline can be extended to, was it December of 2021? Is that the new
We've
deadline?
communicated that, yeah.
Yeah.
so attached to that or related to this, I did send out an email to the whole group of people that had received it before, letting them know of the next grant cycle. I didn't even think about it, but I could have sent something that said, how are you doing? I didn't. So, and maybe it's best to reach out because I know from the Mass Cultural Council from the state, it always goes into my spam folder. So, you know,
Right, so I'll send out my updated tracking sheet.
okay,
Which
that'd
has
be
each of our
great.
names against it. And if you want, I'll spin up a single paragraph or something that you can turn around and, you know, we'll all have similar verbiage that we put
That's
out in
fine.
emails.
Awesome.
And just, you know, to maintain the relationship and see how everybody's doing.
I
But,
think,
you know, Terry, we'll need to kind of file this. At some point, we should probably have a financial strategic work session. And what I mean is if we have $4,000, let's just say hypothetically, in 2019-2020 grants that never get claimed, that has to
Excuse me.
roll over.
okay.
We don't know yet what MCC's next funding to us for the upcoming grant cycle is yet. They are probably sitting waiting to see, you know, what got claimed from this past year as they decide what they're going to do for the future year. But anyways, back to my point, we should probably have our own session to kind of prognosticate what we think might be in play and, you know, just get some ideas on how we're going to apply the money.
Do you want to just talk offline or text offline and pick a date where we can?
We can schedule something for a smaller group meeting for any of us that are interested in it.
Okay, yeah, I want to keep us on schedule so that we have time for ourselves for whatever, and just to help figure out how we can support the artist, because you know, I'm at a loss. I don't remember what I last looked at the YouTube for the Virtual Cultural Fest. It was pretty good. It had a lot of hits, so I'm pretty psyched about that. And occasionally I get an email from somebody, and Lori Diamond sent me a nice note, and you know, just we're you know, ecstatic that we can support people in these bizarre times. And you know, what more can we do? So
Well,
if those
speaking of
messages
that,
are if those messages are all going to spam, that's, you know.
Exactly. So speaking of that, segueing on to the virtual Cultural Fest, we had 19 participants in the video, as you guys all know, for the virtual Culture Fest. We've reached out to all of them about paying them for participating using the money that had been allotted for that. We've already had 3 participants very graciously come back to us and say, you know, they would like to not file for the payment and would like to turn around and just donate that back to the greater pool. So that's been very, very gracious of them. of all the other people, I would say of the remaining 16, I think about 10 of them I have their paperwork for.
Okay.
6 have said, yeah, I'll get it to you, and we don't have it yet. So that's just an update.
Thank you.
I,
Go ahead, Vic.
I still have on the artist side many people who have not responded at all, but there's I think a few are known through other people. For example, somebody Lori Diamond knows. Lori Diamond's daughter's friend. I forget her name.
Oh, Lauren Grace, is that the right
Lauren
one?
Grace, right?
You're on mute,
So,
Leslie.
Lauren Grace, right? So
I think so.
maybe we can we ask Lori Diamond to check in with Lauren Grace? Is that
Well,
kind of
we can compare notes because chances are
they respond
they
to
may
you?
have replied to me directly,
Okay.
Vic.
Okay.
And so if you go and look at that summary document that's on our team drive,
Mhm.
that's where I've kept notes of everybody that's replied. And
Okay.
so you can go see out there.
I gotcha.
So like I said, I think all but one person who doesn't, I'm told, doesn't do email very well.
Yes.
I think everybody we've heard from. Doesn't mean they've submitted. So that was Virtual Culture Fest, Terry.
Fantastic, thank you. You know, it's hard to say how people are doing when we can't physically see them and everything's going to be by email or somebody that knows somebody. So we'll just keep plugging away because, I mean, by the time a vaccine comes out and things roll out, who knows how long it's going to take. But if we're going to look at doing something in the spring, May or something like that, who knows where we'll be. That this may be a template for what we do next. We may still have to do something like this, and you know, we'll see where we are. But I think we did really well, and we could absolutely do it again if need be. And you know, I think it's my summation that this takes a lot of stress off people because we don't have to reinvent the wheel. We've already got an idea of what to do. And maybe, this is my thought, that with this virtual cultural fest, with the number of hits on YouTube and with the people that we were able to reach, the number of participants, that maybe that gives us more PR, there's more awareness that we exist and that we can be a support for the arts and hopefully pull more people in, more community to say, hey, I saw that. And so, you know, it could be a win-win for all. And I think we're just going to have to wait. For me, just to hear that the survey got as many responses as it did, that's a huge win for us. You know, instead of walking around at an event, this is much better. So
How many surveys
thank
were
you.
filled out?
Oh, I guess I would have to ask Bick because I did know that.
Was-
It was more than 100, I thought.
Wait a minute,
Survey,
did the survey have to do with the Culture Fest or before that?
Oh, before that.
Oh, you mean the general survey, the by
Yeah.
the every 2-3 years? Yeah, we had like 80, 90 something, almost 100. No. I'm sorry, we had
I
more
thought
than
it was
100.
more.
Well, yeah. When I first pulled it was less than that, but it was, yeah. I can look right now.
Oh, it's all right. But I mean, to me, that's huge. Because I think
Yeah,
it just
that is
takes
huge.
time for people to get to know us, what we're doing, and word of mouth is huge. Facebook has been huge.
197.
Oh my
It
goodness.
was that was the last count, so that was not even the final.
That's huge.
That's a
It
lot.
is. Yes, wow, that was very successful. That was thanks to John. He posted it. It went out from the town, and people took it.
Yay. Yep. Thank you,
So
John.
I think John should just join
Cheers.
the Northborough Cultural Council.
Yay. Yes. Oh, no, he lives in Shrewsbury, I think. So
Oh,
otherwise, I'd
yeah.
have on my recruiting hat.
Yeah.
Okay, so if we're good there, is there anything else or should we move on to the next one? Okay.
One of
Go ahead.
one of the bullets for under treasurer's list, 2021 grant cycle updates. So I looked and there's only 3 applications right now. 6 submitted. I'm sorry, 6 submitted, 3 in draft mode. and the deadline is around the corner. So we would only have 9, and you've emailed them, right? So I would have expected to see more. So that means we need either another round of advertisement or something.
Okay.
Or maybe people are so unsure about what to do because they don't know what's happening in 2021. You know.
I fear that that's what we're seeing. Just like we're seeing a lot of people who were funded in 2020 and didn't do it.
Mhm.
I fear a lot of the folks are already anticipating, whatever they were going to do would be challenged anyways and just aren't submitting.
Well, and actually, if the deadlines move to December of next year, that covers them for 2021. So maybe they feel like, why am I applying for another 2021 when I kind of basically have 2021?
And they can't apply again, right? If they're going to use the money.
Not in the same period of time.
Not for the same activity.
Yeah.
Okay, so that completely makes sense.
Yeah, that makes
Did you
sense.
see one from Alana Sayre from Proctor?
What I'm looking at is Open Door Connections, Liz Dorsey, Apple Chamber Music Concert, Jacob Latouf, Attracting Birds Butterfly, John Root. So those are the 3 that are being drafted for the office submitted. Crocodile River,
Yep.
Alana Sayre.
Yep, that's my principal.
Okay, Theater Collaboration with Wisconsin, Michael McGarty, NACC 50th Anniversary Celebration.
Maybe we should just go over how many instead of specifics right now.
Okay, well, it's just the 9. It's only just 6, 3 more
6.
pending, and 3
3
more
more.
draft
Okay.
mode. So it's about 9 that we have. So half.
Okay. So, I mean, that's really good. At least it's something.
Yeah.
So I'm encouraged by that, and I don't know how to do more than Vic and Lori and Suzanne. You guys have done like yeoman's work for putting this stuff out there everywhere. Vic, can you refresh my memory? Did something go to NCAT so that they posted on a bulletin? Does that sound familiar? I'm confusing Virtual Fest and the next grant cycle, because if there isn't something.
Give me a second. I'm going to look at my publicity list. Because I did, right, the new date, the new grant press release did go out. And I just need to know who I sent it to. And that new grant release, actually, we worked on it, right? We revised the wording of it.
Yep, that's right.
Right.
Okay.
And so I just need to find.
Is there a whistling sound in the background? There was. I didn't know if it was just my ears. Okay.
Okay, so. Yes, it went to.
It did?
Kathy.
Okay. Yep, that's it.
Although, well, you know what? Let me just actually check my email on my directions. It says to do that. It doesn't mean I actually went there. So if not, I will get it.
Just, or I mean, feel free to like, hey, just a reminder, on a, make it look, the ad look different. So it's, hey, just a reminder, the date was extended.
Right.
Join us.
Let me just check while we're talking, because I think I did it, but I'm not. I have to look at the email who I sent it to.
Okay. Next, and while you're doing that, do you want to talk about the next meeting date? I want to say we had something set up for December, or is that?
Okay, so I'm sorry,
Yes.
I'm going backwards. I did not send it to her. I sent it to the news outlets. So I'll do that right now.
So yeah, and if anybody has any other ideas, when you say news,
like
would that include like the community advocate?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Community advocate, Action Unlimited, the patch, etc.
Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. I don't think there's anything more to hit. Perfect. So I guess next I want to the next agenda item, unless anybody has anything else. I think we can just go for the next meeting date. And
Just gonna get
Nothing.
my calendar, but we should do it after the 14th.
After the
After the
16th.
deadline date. When's the deadline date? I thought it was the 14th.
It's the
16th.
14th.
Mm.
Oh,
I thought it was the 14th.
I thought it was the 14th.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm gonna go get my calendar.
It's the 15th. Yep, my mistake.
So I guess my sense is that we have a meeting just after the 14th, so that would put us on the 17th if that works for you guys. That's day 7 of Hanukkah. I don't know if that is an issue. We're just going to have to work with whoever's here so we can iron this out. Leslie, can you hear me? Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So Vic confirmed that it's the 14th for the deadline. That could put our next meeting to the 17th, right after. However, am I correct? I'm looking at my calendar. That's the end of Hanukkah. Is that an issue for you?
No.
No? Okay. All right. So I propose a 7 o'clock meeting on the 17th then, if that works for you guys. And that's just to check in, I think, really, just to see where we are. But I'm guessing.
No, that should be, we should be able to pull all of the documents of those who applied.
Oh,
And,
okay.
and actually, we should be, you know, between you and I or somebody, we should put into a spreadsheet and all the details and, you know, actually a package. Normally, Salvi prints us all like little books because that's how many we had.
Not this past year.
Yeah, but if we have 9 or 10, you know, we can just compile it into like a virtual
Maybe just a
document.
document, yep, of the list of everyone.
Right.
Okay.
No,
I
they
like
give a
that.
book. Oh, you're talking about a list. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
list. Well, you know, with all the details of the 9 applicants.
Yeah.
And then we would divide like who was going to review, you know, what the process is.
Since this is my first time at this, do you normally, is it normal to see people, like a flood of people coming in at the last moment? I really don't know what to expect this year.
Yeah, I've never.
Okay.
Somebody would know that answer. I don't know.
Okay.
This is new for all of us, you know,
Okay.
these times.
I just want to make sure that we're doing, you know, what we need to do to reach people. And I can't think of anything else. You guys have really done a good job at reaching out and thinking of people and definitely keeping me on task. First, I appreciate that. I need that. So thank you. So our next meeting, December 17th, 7 p.m. And then virtual Culturefest outtake. Does anybody have any thoughts of or anything they want to share or any takeaways or because there's a good chance of, you know, we're still going to be in this and may have to do something like this again next year. So any current thoughts are great. So,
I thought I thought the production, you know, the actual production of it went really well, only because we were minimally involved and we relied really really heavily on the NCAT team, so we really appreciate that partnership with us. That took a load off of us that we normally, you know, would have to do. Except I think what we can improve better on is we've got to figure out our folder method. You know, like when somebody submits something, where does it go? And then we did have the teams reviewing separately, the artists, the musicians, the dancers, and that worked well. But then in terms of like turning over the files to you and MCAT, and the whole filing system is like,
so the process.
Yeah, but it was a Google Drive thing. Do you know what I mean? I think we all thought we were doing the right thing, but it didn't turn out that way.
So so I'll take ownership of some of that confusion because I got confused.
No, I don't think so. It's not you.
So
yeah.
I didn't know where to go. So I would pick up a message from you and it would give me instructions on something. And, you know, I was looking in the wrong place. So
Well, I was in the wrong
bad on
place.
me.
Everybody was in the wrong place. Suzanne was in the wrong place. I mean, we were both like, I can see it, like, and we're talking to each other like the file was here and she couldn't see it, then I couldn't see her files.
Yeah.
So it was not just the way Google was set up, something odd about logging in as yourself on the Google Drive versus logging in as NCC.
Yeah, you're right.
Sitting in both places now. That's the problem.
So this is all super helpful. And I see as very fixable though. And we just, you know what, for our first time doing this, pats on the back for everybody, high fives, because I mean, oh my goodness, we didn't lose anybody's material. It was really good. It was really well done. And so just so you know, for future reference, if like I were to scratch a ticket and win the lottery and run away, not planning on that right now. I might, leave temporarily when COVID's done. But anyway, so what I did, when you guys were describing and feeding me information about the different acts and different things, that's when the ideas started popping. And you just think of it as a movie on a timeline in your mind. So you start out with something really exciting and energetic, and then bring it down, and then inserting the art over it. I think that was beautiful. And so I set everything up according to what you guys were telling me and how you felt about and how you walked away with, observing this. I was making notes, and then I gave a list of, okay, here's what's going on, here's what's happening, this is what's going next. And then I would review it. Dana put it together, and I went through and I found some mistakes, and okay, this one's too short. We need the logos in. And so it was just a hit list of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it was perfect. And so he was just boom, boom, boom. So there was a method, and it does work. And if we need to do it again, we can absolutely do it again. I know the takeaway from Dana was on his end, there were so many different formats that were coming in from phones, tablets, computers, or whatever. So what would happen is that it was hard to get them all to work and convert them into whatever. So he eventually got it, and he did a great job. That's what he is super good at, all of figuring that crazy stuff out. So I was very grateful, but total team effort on everybody. Everybody was so vital to this, to make it as beautiful as it is, and I hope it lives out there.
Ask you about the multiple formats. I thought that we were consistent with that in terms of JPEGs for pictures and MP4s. So you elaborate on what that means?
I thought so too. So there's something, okay, so there is, when it's being rendered or converted, added all the different things. In my mind, I thought it was okay. I was able to review everything, and it wasn't an issue. It looked like, so what happened is there must have been a couple of things that had issues. So what happened is maybe the audio track is a little bit off when it tries to convert or compress. And then, so it looks like a little bit off. Think of, maybe an old black and white movie where the lips are just a little bit off.
Like the Chinese movies with the...
Yes. Oh, I'm thinking of, oh my goodness. All I can think of is, this is terrible.
The dubbing, the overlay of the...
Yeah. All I can think of is Gorgonzola cheese, but it's not. It's the monster that looks...
Godzilla?
Godzilla, yes, thank you. Not Gorgonzola. Oh boy. Okay, yep, you got the idea where, things aren't matching. And so there were things that he really worked hard on it and got it. So something went wrong somewhere, but for the most part, I was watching that and trying to tweak things as I saw it. But I mean, he's very good at this. So the NCAT team was very good too. But all of your feedback collectively, and maybe you personally talk to people. So it really gave me a nice picture of like, oh, okay, this is special. So totally team effort here. Does anybody else have any thoughts, input, outtake? Because good chance with COVID. I mean, who knows when vaccines and all of that will come down.
I just thought I had an expectation, and I was just delighted to see the local talent that's here, across the board in any
Yep.
medium, whatever they submitted. And I suspect, Terry, to your idea here, maybe we keep doing this format. I suspect there's more as well.
I do too.
So I just think that's really exciting to be able to showcase, the people that are here in our town and the talent and the creativity that exists, and to be able to turn that back around and bring it to the enjoyment of everybody else.
Ditto. Leslie.
It was great. I'd also like to see more like kids groups, like teenage music groups, whether it's a group from the high school singing.
Oh,
I'd like to
chorus.
see that. That would be nice to see.
Yeah, I think all of that. I had covered the Veterans Day, which was very slimmed down in Southborough for Southborough Access Media. And so there were only two trumpet players from Algonquin. So one played taps and the other one was the echo. And then the band leader, Jamie Clark from Southborough, from Trottier, played Star Spangled Banner on his trombone. So it was beautiful. And they had some vets there and Boy Scouts and so forth. Wasn't the full crowd. Everybody was masked, but it's not the same yet. It just isn't. And I think people are really craving that, starving for this. And, I see us as a plus, as a positive, and we keep going on this for a while. I'm thinking of this, Craig. First time I met and saw you guys as a group is when I was covering for NCAT, one of the Culturefest, and I was not familiar with it. But in the time span that you're there on a hot day, on an afternoon, and there's only time on a timeline for so many acts, this really opens it up. And I think that this first Culturefest, my opinion, is that this may have cracked the ice, that, like you said, there's more out there. Wouldn't it be nice? Hey, they did that, I can do that too. And maybe somebody who's teetering on the edge will say, oh, wow, why not? Because that would put a smile on everybody's face. Yep. And it's very doable that we can do something like this. But, nice to see that. Maybe it's intimidating to stand out there on a stage on the lawn somewhere. It would be for me.
Yeah, because you could record yourself, and if you didn't like it, you just re-record something,
Yep.
that you're comfortable with, and you put your best foot out there. Yes,
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So I think it's an accidental score, accidental win. Mm-hmm. So I'm pretty psyched about that. So we'll see how it goes forward. But I think, I'm not so afraid now if we're still in trouble with COVID. We've already got a template. We're already there. So that I'm so glad to see that you guys got a break, because I knew how hard. I had an inkling of how hard you guys had worked in the past. And I can't imagine how you guys pulled it off.
Now we have to submit to the MCC. Now, we were already funded, so we don't submit for reimbursement. Is that correct? Right, we don't submit, right, Craig?
So you're talking about the payments that we will make for Virtual Culturefest. That was already a portion of the 2020 grant.
No, our like we are our own event.
We're a grant.
Right, like $600 or whatever, $900.
Right.
But
so
like
that's $900.
Do we have to submit to the MCC in order to get the $900, or we already have the money?
We already have it.
On it, right? Okay. So, but aren't we supposed to provide them with a report, a readout as to like
well, that
to write it out and number of attendees type of thing?
That might be the segue to the next agenda item on the annual report. Yes.
Yeah, let's just go there.
Okay, so I guess with that, take it away. Next item.
Well, grant cycle updates is the next item. So
Oh, okay.
unless we want to skip
Grant
anything.
cycle. No, let's just go right in order. Grant cycle
Well-
update. Is there anything
Well,
that's
we just kind
changed?
of, I think we accidentally talked about this. Right, so we currently have 6 submitted, and we have 3 in draft form. It says only 9, but we don't know our budget. Have we followed up with Louis? Have you already sent him that note some time ago and you never got an answer, Terry, or do we need to do that? Can we find out what MCC is thinking of or planning?
I don't recall. I know I was looking for something. At the time, I looked online for information, but I did not write to Louis and ask him at MCC. I looked and I didn't see any information, but I will send him a
Yeah.
message. So what I need to ask him then directly is there any update on the budget? Is it anything beyond that?
Right, especially when, applications are due soon, we need to know what the budget is. Usually we know in advance.
Yeah,
So we've
that's
got
what
2 weeks.
that's what I thought how it worked, but again, my newness. All right.
And then publicity, so I just resent, I did just sent to NCAT the
Okay.
update.
And all right. Is there, I think that covers it. So that's me. And reporting requirements. Okay, for the annual town report, I think the due date it's January.
Okay, yep.
It's early January.
January 8th. But that's the town. There's also a report to MCC, which is the 15th. I'm sorry, it's the next item down. But we use the same information, the data we put on the town. I don't know, does the town report require a little blurb on what we did for Culturefest? Or is that only for MCC?
I'm happy to do it. I'm going to need to look and see what other ones look like. So I check all the boxes. And then, so the annual report, does that include the financial part, Craig, or is that separate? Separate, okay. So that I need to jump on. Okay, and
I'm sorry, I think you've forgotten this one, Terry. Did you not volunteer to write like something about our virtual fest so that we can give it as an article in like Community Advocate or something?
I can.
Recap, didn't you? I thought you volunteered to write a, so like, and then you're going to send to Liz Nolan. Was that not it? I mean, like somebody else can do it because I think you're about to be really busy with all these reports. Because I was going to ask
I
Lori.
wrote something down and I talked to someone.
Yeah, because it was like a draft and then we were going to ask Liz Nolan to review and kind of pretty it up for Community Advocate or, and then send to a couple of the news outlets. So like as an article on ourselves, you know how usually they come and they, not interview, but they critique our events and the Apple Fest events and put it in the paper, but without the actual events, it's the same thing. But we would.
So what I could do then is just take a screenshot, and then that would do it.
Well, it's like a whole
Liz.
article, though, right? It's like describing what is going on that. I don't know that you need a picture or not, but.
Or what I can do, I'll get myself in on her calendar. So I blew it on that one. So 1, 2, 3, and then the MCC Annual Report. Okay, so that's something I think I need to work on with you, Craig?
Actually,
that
that
I'm
was
up to
more with
speed.
Selvey.
Say that again?
The annual report that we've just been talking about is more with Selvey. Because she can show you the format and the kind of things that she included last year and the year before that.
Got it.
And so there is a parallel piece that is the financial input back to MCC. I have more of the lead on that one, and absolutely, I keep everybody updated and aware of what we're doing there.
Okay. And then the next one, upcoming items, 2021 grantee reception dates.
I do.
So, because do I have that wrong?
Oh, well, you said date. It says ideas. So
Oh, ideas. Okay, yes.
But
So I see this as being virtual still. I don't see the library being available for
how do we do
anything.
this? How do we appreciate people virtually?
No, I know. I don't know how to do this.
What, could we do a similar NCAP thing, but it's really like a PowerPoint slide of like a PowerPoint slide set to music, and it just kind of goes, and it says,
That's an idea.
congratulations to our grantees, and let's say it's these 9 people, right? These 9 organizations, little blurbs and what they do, some pictures. It runs for like 10-15 minutes, because it's not going to take too long.
I think that's a great idea.
I like that a lot. I was trying to physically think of something where we all stand out, but
They can
knows the weather
themselves, and we can, have their picture next to their slide or whatever, but and then it just kind of folds, it flips like a piece of paper type of thing. I don't know. It's just like a normal slide thing.
So maybe we ask them to take a selfie or a picture.
Or they have professional pictures of their groups or whatever. Same thing.
Perfect.
Like concept. If you've got a website, give it to us. We'll get some stuff off of there. If you don't have something, take a picture. Same with what we did for the bios for the VCF.
I like that a lot.
I'd like to submit another idea for it. Maybe people can videotape them talking a little about what they do and when, and give the details. Like, I'll be playing here, and this is what I do.
Yeah.
It'll make it a little more real.
Yeah.
We're watching, saying, "Oh, great! I can go to the Historical Society to see this show." You know what I mean? But it brings it more to
We
life.
hope to.
Even if someone like I do a magic show at the library, or I'll have it on Zoom on this date, and this is a little what I do. They don't have to.
The same as if they were standing behind the podium accepting, right?
Yeah.
Just like that,
More
except
people
like don't talk for
will
5
see
minutes. Give them like say 2 minutes.
Yeah,
blurb
people
of what you
see
do.
it if it's on the computer. If we put it on Facebook, we can put it on.
Yeah.
I don't know if we want to do it MCAT again, but it can go on Facebook.
You could do it.
YouTube, yeah.
YouTube.
So I covered that event last year when we still had it. We were just before, it was under the wire, when we were still able to meet. And there were Danielle Gregoire, and I'm trying to remember who else there was. Now, when there have, throughout this year, when there have been speeches for veterans things, they record something and submit it. So I can reach out and ask, would you be willing to do something and weave that into this grantee reception? So yes, it's still virtual. It keeps us out there, and I feel comfortable saying that they would be interested in doing something. They just do it from their office and then submit that file, and then it gets put in to the production.
And then you can also do your intro as the chair and all that, speaker, same thing, piece it all together, except it's done virtually. That's all.
Yeah, I think not knowing how things are going to roll out.
We have to.
Do you normally do this like in February? And the reason I'm asking this is because I know the date was pushed out further. So Are we supposed to push the date out further? How does this work?
No, we wanted to do it as soon as possible because they know when is, well, no, see, not now it's pushed out. I forgot. Yeah, because if it was due in November, they would have known by December. So by
Right.
the first of the year, we were like, we wanted to congratulate them right away. And I think the first year we did in March was very late. And then we tried to pull it into February.
It was in February.
But now that, you know, what is
I don't know what to do.
What is our due date on the approvals? Their due date is the 16th.
The 14th.
The 14th. I know. What's our due date? January 14th? You know, right? Because then we have to go by that. Because we'll have to.
I'm not sure on that.
Website.
I think I'm going to have to find out. What is our due date? I don't know.
Terry, if you gave a little speech at the beginning, and then you can say, and I in here, the recipients, and then the video can play.
Yeah.
Right.
Thank you so much. We want to support you. We're still here for you.
Maybe Julianne Moore, who usually gives a speech, can give a little speech, and then just play the video. Right. What time is this supposed to be? How long is our meeting supposed to be on Zoom? An hour?
Well, it's normally 7 to 9.
Oh, okay.
Time.
We shouldn't.
The whole.
Yeah, I don't think we have to. I don't think we have a whole lot more anyway. We're towards the bottom. So, Representative Danielle Gregoire, select person Julianne Hirsch, not Julianne Moore. You threw me.
If you can get Julianne Moore,
call her Julianne Moore.
If you can get Julianne Moore,
and I have connections.
I don't doubt it.
My people will call her people.
We'll all have fun with that. Fantastic. Okay. Yeah, you threw me. I was thinking.
I know.
Oh, is it a new person?
I know.
Okay. So I think this is a fantastic idea. Do we have, I guess it goes, what I'm going back to is, do we have dates that we need to hit prior to something? And I don't know what that is. I'm going to have to dig around and see if there's anything new that's come up on the MCC website, because I really don't know. So I don't have any fresh info on that. And then 2021 Culturefest Ideas. Does anybody have any thoughts on that? I'm just going to recap or restate what I recall in past conversations, and that was the idea was to do something hopefully for May.
May? We're not even going to have the vaccine out yet.
Yeah, I know.
I would wait to the fall.
So do you remember that part of the issue with doing it in the fall was
right,
clashing with Applefest?
Yeah, right. You're right.
So
we can always do another virtual in May.
June, something like that.
Yeah, June timeframe, and then that keeps us on a spring schedule. I think we wanted an opportunity to shift from fall to spring, and this would be the year to do it.
I like that, as opposed to the summer when people are going to be really hard to catch.
Yeah.
I think you can't even look at the summer, that it's either going to be like May or in the fall.
Hey, I have a suggestion. What about on opening weekend for baseball? Would that be a good time to maybe have a little celebration where people are around?
Yeah.
We have a little baseball parade.
If
Is
they
that
do
a
that.
1 day or 2 day event? Opening
What?
day? Is that a 1 day or 2 day?
Baseball?
1 day? So if it's on a Saturday, we could have our music and everything on a Sunday. You know, like we get the
build it
weekend.
on the back. Maybe talk to the baseball association and see.
Oh, the same day,
So-
you think?
So
Their
what
event is pretty
is
long.
that date or timeline? Does anybody know?
It changes. It depends on it's not a certain,
Okay.
no, yeah.
there's just so much uncertainty now that if we want to say, hey, let's just keep it a virtual culture fest for now and then go with that, because who knows what's going to be opening. And my guess is that they're going to stagger what things are going to be available to be open. It's going to be maybe a gentle rollout instead of a like boom, free for all. Who knows? Yeah, we just don't know yet. So I guess my thoughts or my recommendation is just to keep it virtual at this point. And I really like the springtime idea. I think we won't drive ourselves into the ground by looking at it and saying, hey, fall. It might be just too much. And it seems like it would be something positive for people to look forward to. And I think it's a good idea. I think you guys hit it.
When I opted that, I thought we could do it in person, you know, the whole baseball week.
Who knows?
You're right. It's going to probably be virtual. Baseball probably won't even happen. The big parade and all that.
It's so impossible to say. We know when the vaccine rolls out, what kind of scale is it going to roll out? Probably first responders.
I think we're like in phase 4 or 5, whatever. I don't think like a normal healthy person would get it until like the fall, because you do the first responders and then you do the
They said June. They said June, not the fall. They said June.
Not early. Okay.
But who knows? That could change.
We're still going to have to wear masks, I think. I don't think it's just going to be, okay, everybody throw off your mask.
Mm-hmm. I don't think so either. I don't think it's going to be that sudden. And while as this meeting's going on, my phone lit up and I got a text and I got a message from the state about
wearing masks
and being careful and so forth. So that, to me, that just highlights the instability or the volatility of the situation that we're in. And so, so what? We know how to do a virtual fest.
We just did a virtual one just to kind of stamp that it's a spring, and then we're just doing the spring.
And then we can roll forward however we see fit.
What about a kids fest?
What would you have in the kids fest? Same thing, but just for kids?
Yeah, kids, teenagers. That would be so much fun. Just an idea, or have it on maybe as a part of the Big Apple Fest, have a kids section. I think people would love to see. We have a lot of talent in this town.
I would love to see a concert again at Algonquin, any kind of concert. Craig, get out your music sheets.
But I'm just saying that could maybe be part of the full fest. But I think it'd be fun to have a section. And there are some really talented. Oh.
Yep, you're right.
I see it in the school system. I mean, I see some piano players that are amazing. I mean, I just think it would be fun. Don't you guys? And the artwork.
Yeah.
So we could do, so depending on where we are, maybe that's an idea. We have the normal virtual cultural fest. And depending on where we are, maybe we could do like, hey, here's a kids one specific. We'll see who responds and how this goes. But, we keep these ideas flowing. I don't have anything else. It's the reports and the dates that I need to get clarity on and keep that pushing forward so that we're on task here. Does anybody else have anything that needs to come up? Okay, so I think I'm all set. Unless anybody else has, because we can't really vote on anything anyway. Not that we had anything to vote on, but I think we're all set. So
how can we vote to adjourn the meeting?
Good for you. Okay, so I think
Leslie seconds.
Okay, Craig was first. Leslie, second.
We can't vote. We don't have enough people. We can
Oh,
never
shoot.
adjourn.
We can't leave the meeting.
Oh, this feels like a game of spinner or something. We're all entangled. We're stuck.
Well, let's let John go.
Can you vote? to
It would
end
be
the
a fifth person.
I was being silly. Let's just force the vote. I vote we adjourn.
Yes. Second. Leslie. Yes. Okay. Vic. Yes. Me. Yes. Thank you for coming, everybody. Thank you for supporting the arts and your local cultural council.
Thank you.
Good night.
Thank you. Thanks,
Thanks,
John.
John.
You're welcome. Good night, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.